Have you ever wondered why you keep losing battles you thought you'd already won? In your career, your relationships, your inner life. Imagine giving away your power every time you speak. The vulgar crowd is always taken by appearances, wrote Machiavelli. And in today's world of constant noise, your silence could be your greatest weapon. In a culture that glorifies oversharing and instant expression, most people never realize that what they say is quietly costing them everything. But what if stillness, strategic, focused silence, is how you win? What if not responding is the most powerful response of all? This video uncovers the ancient Buddhist philosophy and Machiavellian strategy that explains why talking less isn't just wise, it's how you win every battle. If you've ever felt unheard, overexposed, or emotionally exhausted, this is for you. Watch until the end for a powerful bonus lesson that could change how you lead your life. If you're going to get anything out of this video, just get that. That's all you need to know in life. Number 1. Silence is the seat of supreme power. They say silence is empty, but what if it's the most powerful thing you own? What if, in your loudest moments of pain, your greatest weapon wasn't your voice, but your restraint? In a world addicted to noise, attention, and opinions, Buddhism quietly reminds us, silence is the seat of supreme power. You've felt it. The urge to defend yourself in an argument, to explain your worth after a breakup, to prove your capability in a room full of doubters. But ask yourself, do you speak to express or to gain advantage? And what does it cost you each time you react instead of reflect? In Buddhist thought, silence isn't passive. It's the mountain that hears the wind but moves not. It sees storms come and go, but remains unmoved. And in that stillness lies unmatched power. The wise remain silent, not because they have nothing to say, but because they understand everything need not be said. When you stop trying to win every verbal battle, something strange happens. You begin to win the war within. That's when you'll start noticing. Real influence comes not from volume, but presence. In a meeting, it's the calm one everyone turns to. In a relationship, it's the composed one who gains respect. In the chaos of life, it's the still mind that sees clearly. You don't have to announce your strength. Silence radiates it. Buddha taught that mindfulness begins where reaction ends. So practice the art of observation. Before you speak, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, do these words serve peace or only ego? Can you lead with stillness rather than speech? Start small. The next time conflict arises, say less. Watch more. Instead of answering every accusation or challenge, let your energy speak. If you're in a career struggle, resist the urge to oversell yourself. Let your work and composure carry your voice. And when recovering from heartbreak, remember, healing doesn't always need explanation. Some growth is too sacred for words. Are you giving away power by sharing too much? What if your silence could say more than your words ever could? There's beauty in being misunderstood. When you know who you are, you stop needing others to confirm it. Use silence not to escape the world, but to master how you show up in it. The loudest minds often miss what the silent heart already knows. This isn't about suppressing your truth, it's about sharpening it. Every word you don't speak becomes a choice, a declaration of discipline, and that is where peace begins. So here's the challenge. For one day, speak only when your words serve growth, healing, or truth. Let stillness be your shield. Let presence be your sword. You'll find that the less you say, the more power you carry. Because the strongest one in the room is often the one who doesn't need to speak. Never attempt to win by force what can be won by silence. 2. Speak less, see more. Most people talk to be heard, few listen to understand, and fewer still realize. The more you speak, the less you see. In the noise of the world, clarity is a rare currency. But Buddhism offers a simple truth. Those who speak do not know. Those who know do not speak. Imagine you're a candle in a dark room. You don't make a sound, but your light watches everything. Every flicker of movement, every whisper, every truth hidden beneath words. You burn quietly, and yet you see more than anyone else. Now think about your own life. Have you ever revealed too much too quickly? Said something in anger and regretted it? Or missed the deeper meaning in someone's words because you were too focused on your reply? It's easy to speak, much harder to observe, but that's where your true power lives. In Buddhism, mindful silence is not about withholding truth, it's about sharpening perception. Speech is energy, and where your energy goes, your awareness can't. When you speak less, you create space. Space to see, space to feel, space to understand. When you're in conflict, especially after heartbreak or betrayal, the temptation is to defend. But what if you didn't? What if you let them talk? You'd hear not just what they say, but what they hide. You'd notice the pain in their tone, the tension in their body, the fear behind their anger. Because silence doesn't just protect your peace, it exposes the truth. Try this. In your next conversation, listen 70%, speak 30%. Don't rush to respond. Replace judgment with curiosity. Don't just hear words, observe the gaps, the pauses, the contradictions. In business meetings, silence can make you look wiser. In relationships, it can reveal what love or pain sounds like when it's not speaking. What could you learn if you spoke 50% less today? When you're silent, what do others reveal? Most people fear silence because it makes them confront what's inside. But Buddhist teachings guide you to use it as a mirror, not a wall. When you speak less, you don't lose connection. You deepen it. You begin to see patterns, motives, and energy. You notice the truth behind every smile and every lie. The candle doesn't burn brighter by shouting. It burns brighter by simply being. So be like that candle, present, aware, quiet, and unshakably wise. In a world of oversharing and performance, silence is your rebellion. It is your intelligence made visible. And it is the key to mastering not only your relationships, but yourself. This isn't just about talking less. It's about listening better, seeing clearer, feeling deeper, and reclaiming the mental space that speech often steals. So today, speak less, see more, discover how much wisdom lives in the words you don't say. Stillness isn't empty. It's full of answers the loud never hear. 3. Be quietly disciplined. Everyone wants to be seen. We crave applause, validation, likes, and recognition. But real transformation, it doesn't happen in the spotlight. It happens in silence. In the hours when no one's watching, when there's no one to impress and no one to cheer. Buddhism teaches a powerful idea. Let your actions be your sermon and your silence be your strength. The strongest people aren't the loudest. They're the ones building a wall, brick by invisible brick. You don't see the discipline in their early mornings, the restraint in their silence, the sacrifices behind their stillness. They don't announce what they're building, they just build. Ask yourself, what if you never told anyone your goals? Would you still chase them with the same fire? Would your commitment still stand if there was no praise waiting on the other side? In a world that glorifies sharing every move, discipline becomes a rebellion. And Buddhism urges you to reclaim that inner sanctuary, to act without performing, to grow without broadcasting. Because self-mastery is not about being seen, it's about being aligned. You're struggling right now, maybe with heartbreak, identity, or direction. It's tempting to talk about your healing, to post your progress, to explain your dreams so they feel more real. But that energy, it's leaking from the same source you need to keep moving. Not everything sacred must be spoken. Quiet discipline is a different kind of strength. It's waking up to meditate when no one notices. It's choosing the gym, the journal, or the deep breath over the distraction. It's walking away from arguments because your peace matters more than being right. And it's holding your vision close, so close it becomes a part of your being, not a performance. Try this. Carve out one silent hour each day. Use it for focused work, meditation, or a simple walk with no phone, no noise, just you and your inner compass. Make this hour sacred. Watch how much you can create, solve, and shift without ever speaking a word. Create rituals, not routines. Start your day with intention, end it with reflection. Don't announce them, just live them. Let your consistency whisper louder than any declaration ever could. Can you stay loyal to your growth when no one is watching? Are you disciplined enough to need no applause? The Buddha never needed a stage. His silence taught more than sermons. His discipline transformed lives not through speeches, but presence. You don't have to shout to be powerful. You just have to be what you say you are, quietly, relentlessly, and completely. Build your wall, brick by invisible brick. You'll find that the world doesn't need to see the construction, because when it's done, the results will speak louder than any words ever could. True strength doesn't announce itself. It reveals itself when the world stops watching. 4. The mindset of quiet achievers. You don't hear stars when they shine, yet they light the sky every night without a single sound. That's the mindset of quiet achievers. The ones who don't need to be seen to be powerful because they've already made peace with being true to themselves. In Buddhist thought, silence isn't emptiness. It's full of wisdom. A quiet mind isn't an idle one. It's a sharp, steady force that moves without needing to be noticed. Most people confuse noise with progress. They think if no one sees it, it doesn't count. But real achievement? It happens far from attention. In the mornings, you rise before the world. In the nights, you reflect without sharing. In the moments, you choose growth over applause. Quiet achievers aren't motivated by recognition. They're moved by purpose. While others are broadcasting effort, they're deepening skill. While others post updates, they journal breakthroughs. While the world chases momentum's applause, they honor momentum's silence. What would shift in your life if you stopped chasing recognition? What if your biggest leaps didn't need witnesses to be real? Buddhist philosophy reminds us, silence is not the absence of words, but the presence of inner wisdom. When you stop performing for the world, you begin transforming yourself. That's when progress becomes pure. Start simple. Each night, write down one quiet win in a private journal. It could be as small as resisting a reaction, completing a task without complaint, or staying grounded during conflict. These invisible victories stack into silent power. And over time, they build the kind of inner strength no amount of praise can touch. Let your mind work while your ego rests. Stop needing to prove your evolution. Let others think you're behind. They're watching the surface. You're shifting from the inside, and real change? It echoes in your peace, not your posts. Practice humility like a spiritual shield. Not false modesty, but the kind of calm confidence that doesn't rise to provocation. Let people underestimate your silence. That's your hidden advantage. Because while they speak, you're watching. While they react, you're learning. And while they move for show, you're moving for truth. Are you chasing results or recognition? Could your silence become your most trusted ally in growth? Don't be afraid to be unseen. You're not behind. You're not late. You're becoming quietly, wisely, unshakably. Every seed grows underground first. Every star waits for nightfall. The path to inner mastery has no cheering crowds, no trophies, no trending posts. Just you, your commitment, and a peace that cannot be disturbed. So shine like the stars. Speak only when your words carry truth. Move only when your action carries purpose. Let your silence speak for you, louder than words ever could. When you stop proving and start becoming, you win every battle without making a sound. 5. Restraint is mastery over ego. There's a story in Buddhism about an elephant that walks softly through the jungle. It makes no noise, disturbs nothing. Yet when it walks, the ground quietly shifts beneath its weight. That's what true power looks like. Restraint without weakness, presence without performance. You've been taught to respond, to defend, to speak up at every slight. But what if the strongest thing you could do is say nothing at all? He who is silent controls his ego. He who is loud reveals his hunger. Think about that. Most of what people say in anger, in arguments, in desperation, comes from the ego trying to survive. But the ego is never satisfied. It wants to be right. It wants to be seen. It wants to win battles that don't matter in the long run. Buddhist teachings remind us, the less you react, the more you command. When someone criticizes you, your first instinct may be to fight back, to prove you're not weak. But ask yourself, are you reacting from ego or responding from strength? In Buddhism, non-reactivity is not passivity, it is presence. It's the ability to witness the fire, but not feed it. To hear the insult and still hold your peace. Because not every attack deserves your energy. Some things are beneath your reaction. Try this. The next time someone provokes you, pause. Just one breath. Not a sigh, not a smirk, just awareness. Feel your feet. Feel your breath. Feel your power returning to you as you refuse to let your ego hijack your mouth. Silence isn't avoidance, it's strategy. It reveals far more than words ever could. When you say nothing, you allow people to show themselves, their motives, their fears, their need to stir noise while you stay rooted in truth. Use silence as a shield in conflict. Instead of defending every decision, every feeling, every mistake, let your peace speak. When others yell, you listen. When others rush to respond, you reflect. In that stillness, you rise. Not above others, but above the noise. Can you let silence be your sword instead of your voice? That's not an easy practice, especially when you've been hurt, especially when people misunderstand you. But silence is not surrender. It's the highest form of discipline, and discipline is the path to mastery. Hold your power close. Don't waste it explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Don't waste it proving you're enough. Just be. Walk softly, and let your presence do what words never could. The ego shouts to survive. Wisdom whispers to transform. Restraint is not what you lose. It's what you keep. Your peace, your clarity, your power. So the next time the world demands a reaction, pause, breathe, and remember the elephant. It walks softly, yet every step shakes the earth. 6. Success is quiet until it echoes. There's a force in nature more powerful than a hurricane or a crashing wave. It's the whirlpool, silent, deep, pulling everything toward it without noise, without drama. That's what real success looks like. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't scream for applause. It moves quietly until its impact echoes through everything. Buddhism teaches us that the most powerful currents always move beneath the surface. The same applies to you. The deeper your discipline, the quieter your journey, and the greater your transformation. Right now, you may feel unseen, like you're working hard, growing silently, healing slowly, and no one notices. You scroll past the loud ones, showing off, achieving, announcing, and maybe you wonder, should I be louder? Should I post more? Should I prove I'm doing something? But here's the truth. Success doesn't need a megaphone. It needs momentum. It needs direction, not decoration. The more you chase visibility, the further you drift from mastery. True growth begins when no one claps, in the hours before dawn, in the moments when you're alone with your self-doubt, still choosing to keep going. That's where strength is born. In Buddhist practice, everything starts within, before it ever manifests outside. First your mind, then your breath, then your actions, only then your results. So instead of forcing your story to be heard, focus on writing it with care. Share it after it's complete, not while it's still scribbled in pencil. Avoid comparison. It makes you impatient. You start rushing, speaking, performing for recognition. But what if the world didn't applaud? Would you still rise? Would you still write your book? Still build your business? Still heal from the breakup? Or is your hunger to be seen stronger than your will to grow? Because real success is built in silence, unseen, unfollowed, and unfazed. Let others post their highlight reels. You? Stay grounded, create a sacred space, daily time for inner work. Whether it's journaling, meditating, planning, or building, do it in peace. Align your thoughts, your energy, and your practice. Let your journey be yours. And when it's time, your silence will echo louder than any shout. Imagine a version of you who never needed validation, only alignment. Who showed up every day not to impress, but to become. That version of you exists, but it demands one thing: patience with the process and devotion to the unseen. Because nothing lasting is ever built fast, and nothing wise is ever built loud. Real success doesn't arrive with noise, it arrives with presence. So walk your path in silence. Let your progress gather power, and when the moment is right, your quiet journey will shake the ground. You don't need to be loud to be legendary. You just need to be true, steady, and unseen, until the echo finds you. 7. Use silence to read the unspoken. Most people hear what's said, few feel what's not. And yet, that's where the truth lives, in the silence between sentences, the pauses between words, the hesitation before a lie. Buddhist wisdom teaches us that stillness isn't just peace, it's perception. Like the spider that senses vibrations through its web before danger arrives, you too can learn to feel reality before it's revealed. But to do that, you must learn to shut up and listen. Not the kind of listening where you're waiting for your turn to speak. Number real listening, meditative listening, the kind that leaves space for the truth to rise to the surface. In every conversation, whether it's with a friend, a boss, a partner, people reveal more than they intend. A shift in tone, a flicker in the eyes, a slight delay in their answer. All of it is data. But you miss it when your mouth moves faster than your awareness. We live in a noisy world where value is measured by how much you say, post, or share. But those who win silently hold the true power. Stillness allows the truth to reveal itself. When you speak less, you feel more. And what you start to realize is this: people often speak from ego, fear, or desire, not truth. And if you're too busy reacting, you'll never catch what's underneath. Imagine you're in a meeting or a disagreement. The other person expects a quick reply, maybe even a defense. But instead, you pause, you observe, you let the silence stretch just a little longer. What happens? They fill the gap, they reveal more. They expose assumptions, hidden motives, or even insecurities. Your stillness becomes your strategy. This is not manipulation, it's mastery. Because the moment you stop trying to win with words, you start winning with wisdom. The Buddha once said, "Those who are wise do not speak unnecessarily." Why? Because silence is clarity, and clarity is power. But here's the challenge. It requires emotional control. Can you sit in discomfort without filling it with noise? Can you stay curious instead of reactive? Start practicing today. The next time you're in a conversation, stop planning your response. Just listen, watch, feel. Let them speak. Let them reveal themselves. You don't need to say much, because the more you listen, the more they speak. And the more they speak, the more they show you who they are. What are people really saying when they speak too much? Are they covering fear, seeking validation, hiding truth? And what truths are you missing because you're too busy preparing your defense instead of reading their energy? In silence, you see what noise hides. The quiet ones aren't passive, they're perceptive. And in a world addicted to reaction, your silence is your sword. Let others reveal themselves. You stay still, and you will see the truth before anyone else even hears the lie. 8. The detached voice is the most free. Some voices echo long after they've gone quiet, but not because they were loud, because they were free. Most of us carry an invisible burden, the need to explain, to defend, to be understood. We speak to protect our pride or prove our worth. And yet, in the still teachings of Buddhism, there's a radical truth. You don't have to speak to be heard. The detached voice is the most free because it doesn't speak from ego, but from clarity. It's like the lotus flower rising from the mud, untouched, unbothered, unstained. There was once a young man who felt the constant urge to defend himself. Whether in arguments, at work, or with friends, he always had to have the last word. He thought silence meant surrender, but over time, he noticed something. The more he spoke, the less he was understood. The more he explained, the more confused he became. Until one day, his mentor told him, "When you no longer need to be understood, you're finally free." That's the Buddhist way. Speak only when it uplifts. Remain silent when it merely feeds the ego. We waste so much of our energy trying to win conversations. But what if you didn't need to win? What if you could be misunderstood and still be at peace? Detachment is not indifference. It's clarity. It's choosing peace over pride. When you detach from the need to control how others perceive you, you begin to reclaim the power that's been leaking through every unnecessary explanation. You begin to move like the lotus, still, serene, and rooted in your own truth. Use your voice as a tool, not a weapon. Speak only when your words can build bridges, not walls. Speak to awaken, not to dominate. And when you feel the urge to explain yourself, ask, is this coming from fear or from freedom? Is it to serve the moment or to satisfy my ego? Next time someone provokes you, stay grounded. When they misunderstand you, stay calm. When they try to pull you into their chaos, rise above it. Detach from needing the last word. Sometimes silence is the most complete response. Sometimes silence says, I don't need to fight because I've already won inside. This is mastery. This is inner freedom. To speak without needing agreement, to pause without fearing rejection, to be silent and still be strong. Are your words rooted in fear or freedom? Can you walk away from noise and still feel whole? If you want to win every battle, shut up, not in suppression, but in strength. The world doesn't need more noise, it needs more clarity. Let your voice be a lotus, rare, radiant, and untouched by the mud around it. The most powerful voice is the one that doesn't need to speak to be understood. 9. Let the work whisper for you. In a small village, there was a watchmaker who never advertised his work. His shop was humble, tucked between towering buildings. But those who sought his skill were always impressed by his creations. His watches didn't need loud endorsements. The craftsmanship spoke for itself. People talked about his work quietly, with reverence, spreading the word because the results were undeniable. His silence became his strength. No boast, no show. The only thing that mattered was the quality of his craft. This is the power of letting your work whisper for you. In a world full of noise, excellence is the quietest voice. Buddhist philosophy teaches us that true mastery doesn't need to be announced. It needs to be embodied. The best craftsmen, whether in business, art, or relationships, don't shout about their progress. They live it. Their results create their reputation. The path to greatness is not paved with self-promotion, but with dedicated, focused action. Imagine for a moment that your work, your craft, could speak for you. What would it say? Would it be loud and flashy? Or would it be a steady hum of purpose, precision, and excellence? So often, we get caught up in the desire for validation, for applause, for recognition. We broadcast every small step, seeking the approval of others. But what if you stopped doing that? What if you focused on the work, let your results carry the message, and let your actions create the impact? In the Buddhist tradition, there's a principle of detachment from outcomes. By focusing purely on the quality of what you're doing in the present moment, you free yourself from the need for external validation. Instead of focusing on getting noticed, you focus on getting better. True mastery comes from quiet commitment to your craft, not from the noise of applause. Start today by taking small steps towards silence. Put your energy into deepening your skills rather than expanding your social reach. Build your projects without constantly sharing them with the world. Let your work grow in private, and let it speak for you when the time is right. Surround yourself with others who also understand the quiet power of action, those who value results over recognition. Think about how you feel when someone truly understands the depth of their work. When they speak, their words have weight because their actions have already proven their worth. Are you creating work that speaks for itself? Would you still pursue your mission if no one clapped? Would you continue to work in silence, knowing that the impact you create in the world will far outlast any applause you could receive in the moment? The journey of a quiet achiever is a steady one, focused, precise, and deeply rooted in purpose. As you move forward, remember that your work does not need to be shouted into existence. Like the watchmaker, let your deeds thunder, even if your voice never does. Excellence is the loudest thing you can do. Let it speak for you. 10. Guard your energy with silence. There's a quiet strength in nature that we often overlook. Imagine a bamboo forest, its stalks swaying with the wind, bending but never breaking. It's strong not because it resists the wind, but because it knows when to bend and when to remain still. This is the power of silence. In the chaos of life, we often give away our energy through every word we speak. We feel compelled to explain, to justify, to share every thought, every emotion. But like the bamboo, silence can protect us and preserve our power. Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of guarding your energy, especially through the words you speak. every word is an investment. The more you speak, the more energy you leak into the world. But when you choose silence, you retain that energy, allowing it to stay focused, undisturbed, and powerful. In this silence, your mind becomes like a still pond, reflective, clear, and full of potential. Think about the times you've found yourself talking endlessly, only to feel drained afterward. Whether it's gossiping with friends or over-explaining yourself in meetings, each word depletes your reserves. Buddhism teaches us that speech is a powerful tool, but it can also scatter our thoughts and energy if we're not mindful. Instead of constantly spilling your thoughts into the air, practice holding your words back. Not out of fear, but out of wisdom. What if you could reduce the noise in your life? Imagine, for just a few hours each week, embracing silence. Let your thoughts be your own and see how much more energy you retain. You'll discover that silence is not emptiness. It's a powerful space where clarity and strength grow. Before you speak, ask yourself 3 simple questions. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If your words don't pass those tests, perhaps it's better to stay silent. In that silence, you might just find the wisdom you've been seeking. Consider how much energy you waste in unnecessary conversations. How often do you speak just for the sake of speaking? In Buddhism, there's a practice called noble silence that invites us to set aside time to preserve our energy by holding our tongue. This isn't about avoiding communication. It's about choosing the right moments to express yourself. It's about being intentional with your words and choosing when to speak so that each word carries weight and intention. When you guard your energy, you're not just protecting yourself from the draining effects of excessive speech. You're giving yourself space to grow. Silence allows you to connect with your inner wisdom, allowing you to respond with clarity and purpose rather than reacting out of habit or emotion. It's in these moments of stillness that you tap into your true power. So, take a step back today. Pay attention to your words and how they affect your energy. Are you wasting it on things that don't matter? Are you scattering your focus with every conversation? Remember, like the bamboo, the more you practice silence, the more you'll bend without breaking. Guard your energy with your silence and watch how it strengthens you. 11. Stillness leads to supreme clarity. In life, we are often consumed by the noise around us, the constant chatter in our minds, the pressure from society, the distractions of daily life. We strive to understand, to act, to fix everything. But what if the key to clarity wasn't in striving harder, but in stepping back and being still? In Buddhist philosophy, stillness isn't a weakness. It's the foundation of supreme clarity. Imagine a calm lake. It only reflects the beauty of the sky when its surface is still. In the same way, your mind can only truly reflect clarity when it's free from the ripples of unnecessary thought. Our minds are like this lake. When we're caught in the chaos of life, our thoughts swirl around, making it impossible to see the truth clearly. It's not through force that we discover answers, but through calm. In Buddhism, the idea is simple. Clarity comes when we stop trying so hard to grasp it. We stop fighting, stop forcing our way, and simply sit in stillness. Only then can we see things as they truly are. Think about the moments in your life when you felt lost or overwhelmed. Perhaps it was during a breakup, a career struggle, or when facing a difficult decision. In these moments, we often feel the need to act quickly, to say something, to do something, anything to find peace. But what if peace isn't something you have to chase? What if it's already here, waiting for you in the stillness of your mind? Start your day with a few minutes of silence, just 10 minutes of reflection or breath work. This small practice can create a huge shift in your perception. It's in these moments of quiet that you'll begin to see the world differently. Thoughts will come and go, but you'll learn to observe them without reacting. In Buddhism, we learn that when we let our thoughts pass like clouds, we allow our true clarity to emerge. The answer you've been searching for might not be found in the noise, but in the silence that comes when you stop and listen. Take a walk in nature and practice silent walking meditation. Feel the world around you, the air, the trees, the ground beneath your feet, without the need to label or analyze. Let your mind slow down. As you move through the world quietly, you'll find that the answers you seek are not out there, but within you. Stillness sharpens your perception, helping you see things as they truly are. Have you ever considered that the truths you're seeking might be hidden because your mind is too loud to notice them? We often chase answers, yet miss the simple truths right in front of us. What if the answer you're chasing is waiting for you in your stillness? By practicing silence and quiet observation, you'll find that clarity doesn't need to be earned. It's already there, waiting for you to notice. So next time you feel overwhelmed or unsure, don't rush to speak or act. Instead, take a moment to be still. Like the lake that reflects the sky only when calm, your mind will reveal its clarity when you allow it to rest. Embrace stillness, and in that silence, find the clarity you've been seeking all along. Bonus. Lesson. Let go of needing to be heard. In the hustle of daily life, we often feel the need to make ourselves heard. We speak to be understood, to be noticed, to make our presence known. But what if true power doesn't come from what we say, but from what we don't say? What if the key to winning every battle in life, especially when we're struggling with emotional transitions, isn't speaking louder, but becoming comfortable with silence? In Buddhism, there's a profound lesson. True power lies in letting go of the need to be heard. Just like the wind, which moves everything around it, yet claims nothing, we too can move through life with influence, without needing to prove ourselves. Think about the moments when you feel compelled to speak, perhaps during a difficult conversation with a friend, or when you're facing criticism at work. Often, we interrupt silence, not to bring peace or clarity, but to avoid feeling invisible, to avoid being misunderstood. But in the act of speaking, we forget that silence is powerful. When we speak just to be heard, we lose the ability to listen and to truly understand the world and the people around us. Silence, however, allows us to observe, reflect, and align with our true selves. Imagine the power in a presence that doesn't need to explain itself. In Buddhism, silence is not seen as weakness or absence, but as an act of strength. To be seen without showing, to be heard without speaking, this is the highest form of influence. When you stop needing to be recognized, you find a deeper connection to the world around you. Instead of seeking validation, you become whole in your quiet confidence. This is not about withdrawing from the world, but about aligning with it in a way that's grounded and peaceful. You don't have to interrupt silence to prove your worth. Practice anonymous acts of excellence. Do things that are meaningful, and don't expect applause or acknowledgement. The world will take notice, not because you've forced it to, but because your actions speak louder than any words ever could. This is the Buddhist principle of detachment, the act of letting go of your need for recognition and finding peace in the knowledge that your worth is not tied to what others see or say about you. By letting go of the need to be understood, you break free from the prison of others' opinions. You no longer need to shape your words to fit someone else's perception of you. Can you imagine the freedom in that? To walk through life as your truest self, unburdened by the need to explain, to justify, or to prove. The most powerful people don't need to broadcast their presence. They let their actions speak for them. So, next time you're tempted to interrupt silence, pause. Instead of speaking to avoid discomfort, allow yourself to be still. Let your presence be felt through the space you create, not the words you use. Can you let your actions echo louder than your voice? Can you let your silence, your calm, your presence be the most powerful force in the room? When you stop needing to be heard, you free yourself from the noise of the world, and that's when you can truly win every battle. Quick summary of the principles. Silence is the seat of supreme power. Silence is not emptiness, it's presence. When you choose not to react or explain, you command energy. True power comes from restraint and internal clarity, not noise. Be still and let your essence speak louder than words. Speak less, see more. The less you speak, the more you perceive. Mindful observation reveals what hurried conversation conceals. Listening builds wisdom, and silence sharpens understanding. Power grows in those who listen with intent. Be quietly disciplined. Consistency without recognition builds quiet strength. You don't need applause to move forward. Real discipline is unseen and unspoken, done in silence, repeated with purpose, and fueled by inner fire. The mindset of quiet achievers. Those who accomplish the most speak the least. They value progress over performance. Quiet achievers focus on results, not recognition, and let their growth speak for itself when the time is right. Restraint is mastery. Over ego. Silence in response to provocation is a sign of maturity, not weakness. In Buddhism, controlling your reactions is the highest form of self-mastery. Let peace be your reply, and ego will have no grip on you. Success is quiet until it echoes. True success doesn't need to be announced. It unfolds naturally. When you focus on your craft instead of the crowd, results multiply. Stay committed to the path, and success will eventually speak volumes. Use silence to read the unspoken. Much is revealed in what people don't say. When you're silent, others reveal more. Train yourself to listen deeply to tones, body language, and pauses, and you'll uncover truths hidden in plain sight. The detached voice is the most free. Freedom begins when you no longer need to defend, explain, or impress. Letting go of the need to be heard frees your energy and deepens your peace. Speak only when words uplift or serve a higher purpose. Let the work whisper for you. Let your results do the talking. You don't need to broadcast every move. True mastery is felt, not flaunted. The most powerful people let their work announce them without saying a word. Guard your energy with silence. Every word you speak carries energy. Preserve it. Avoid draining conversations, idle talk, and reactive speech. Silence isn't avoidance. It's self-protection and a shield for mental clarity. Stillness leads to supreme clarity. When the mind is quiet, truth surfaces. In stillness, you can see life as it is, not how your ego filters it. Make space for reflection, and insight will rise like the sun after a storm. Let go of needing to be heard. You don't need to prove yourself to be powerful. Releasing the desire to be heard opens space for deeper listening, peace, and connection. Let your presence speak louder than your voice. In a world drowning in noise, your silence can be your sanctuary. When you stop reacting, stop explaining, and stop trying to prove yourself, you begin to reclaim your power. True self-control starts with mastering your words, and in that mastery, you rediscover your worth. We've been conditioned to equate loudness with leadership, performance with progress, and talking with influence. But the most powerful people are often the quietest, not because they lack words, but because they've transcended the need to use them carelessly. In silence, they gain vision. In stillness, they build power. Zen philosophy teaches us, let go or be dragged. Let go of the constant need to be seen, heard, or validated. Don't chase attention, chase alignment. Don't broadcast your life. Build it, silently and with discipline. Let your silence become your strongest voice. So take control of your life, not by shouting louder, but by listening deeper. Make your inner world so strong that the outside noise becomes irrelevant. Let silence shape you into someone unstoppable, not because the world noticed you, but because you no longer need it to. If this message resonates with you, don't forget to like and share this video, drop your thoughts in the comment box, and subscribe to Deep Wisdom for more inspiring Buddhist insights on living a peaceful life.